Christmas, everybody. Welcome to the Christmas Countdown Show. My name is Eric Peterson. I'm here with my good buddy, Danny Jordan.
Hola.
And you have made it to episode number 2 of season 4 of the Christmas Countdown Show.
Wow.
I'm going to start with what our theme is because last time
we
I
waited
didn't,
like 45 minutes.
say until about 45 minutes what our theme was. The theme today is number 5 through 1 of the top 10 Christmas movie soundtracks.
Delicious.
It's a great list. Very excited for this list. We always love our music lists in particular.
Yep.
But this was a good one. This was a fun one to sort of delve into. So we're going to be doing that today. We have a game, I believe, is going to be happening. We have
so much
some rates
today.
and reviews.
Yeah.
One of the things, because you know what we love to do on this show. We love to draw back the curtain and just make you a part of our lives here as we record the Christmas Countdown Show, which we should tell you we are recording live at the Holiday Experience here in Simi Valley, California.
Great town.
You can find the Instagram is at holiday_experience24.
Yes.
Holiday_experience24. There are 1 million lights, 50,000 square feet.
We
of
can
Christmas
see it all
merriment.
twinkling not far from us.
Yes, because
where
they
we're sitting,
open on November 1st.
which will be just a few days after this episode drops
Absolutely.
on the 28th. So if you are in Southern California, in the
check it out.
LA area, even if you're not, heck, plan a trip out here.
Yes.
They've got all these really cool vignettes here. They actually have this set piece from a very iconic Christmas film that I can't say too much about, but it's a really cool set piece that you should definitely come check out.
That's
I think
good
you'll
tease.
recognize.
I love
once
that.
you get here. Yeah.
So we're recording live. We got Emilio is sitting here, right? He's got a green screen now, so we
He
can
waved
put him
at the
wherever.
camera. He said before we recorded, he goes, I just don't feel comfortable in front of the camera.
Yeah, he needs
And
a purple
we're like
dinosaur or
Emilio, and
something.
he's like, how do you do? Like, it was like
Hello there. And then we also have, of course, our good buddy Chris Sisley coming to us live from Brooklyn.
Chris.
We were just talking with Chris that Chris does not have a green screen. And Danny suggested a great idea, I think, we were going to send him, because Chris is recording from his bedroom, and he has some curtains up and his duvet of his bed. And we said, what if we get you all green screen curtains and a bed cover, and then you can be wherever you want.
And I love the idea of his wife coming home from work and walking in, and it's just
fully
all
green room.
screen. And she's like, honey, what's going on here?
He's
and
like, we can be anywhere now, baby.
Yeah, you want to go to a cabin in the woods when it's snowing? We are
Boom,
there.
we're there.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't see it, but in post, you'll love it.
That's love.
That's love,
Right there.
baby.
That's
I love it.
commitment. Yeah.
So we have a great show today. We're so
Thrilled.
excited because also we should mention the people that are listening to this episode more than likely are our really Christmas obsessed fellow friends.
Maybe.
And maybe we have people who are just dipping their toe into the early Christmas
like, what
love
is this?
water.
What is this jingly,
this is kind of
jangly,
fun. I can
twinkly
enjoy
feel over
Christmas
here. Yeah.
before December. I like
I love that we
this.
both just tapped our toe on the ground, but none of these cameras.
Nobody can see it, but we saw it, and we knew it.
In our hearts, yeah.
So welcome to those of you who love the Christmas season, those of you who are dipping your toe into the early Christmas love. We are feeling the feelings. I was
That needs to be a song. Can we
dipping your
please-
toe into the early Christmas love.
First rabbit hole of the season, right here of the episode. Probably not season. First rabbit hole of the episode.
Yeah.
We totted about. That's probably something to say in English.
Yeah.
We chatted or talked
Yeah.
about maybe like doing a bit later in the season where we come up with prompts for AI to like write Christmas songs
Yes.
and then have AI write the songs.
Yes, this could be a good one.
This feels like it could
Dip
be.
your toe into the early Christmas season.
Yes, that's a yeet bop banger.
That's
right
good.
there.
I love that.
Anyway, I just want to toss it out.
Where was I going with that?
I don't know. I interrupted you.
It's all right. It's all right.
We were talking about that there's a lot of new people.
Oh,
or
I know
maybe
what I was going to
returning
say.
people.
I know what I was going to say. I'm wearing, if you're watching this on YouTube or on socials or wherever, I'm wearing one of our merch items here. This is our list of the Santa's
love
reindeer.
that one,
I love this hoodie. And I did drop off this morning for Miles. And I was like, I wonder when I wear this out in the middle of October, like if people are like, bro, chill.
Yeah.
Chill out.
Bro, I've been wearing, I really like got on the bro train there. Bro, I have been wearing our like branded like show hoodie on flights since probably like April.
I love that.
And I wonder, it dawned on me on my last trip, I was like, does this seem a little arrogant of me to wear a hoodie around that has a picture of me
Of you?
on it?
I don't know. It's a conversation starter.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think
Do you?
so.
But they're cartoon pictures in all
Yes,
fairness. So
it's not like your actual
like
image.
blatant
yes,
face
yes,
on there.
yes. Danny and I, you may have seen on socials, actually ran into each other at Disneyland.
It's true.
Yesterday, which was very fun.
So random
for a brief moment there.
Day, yeah.
But as Miles and I were leaving, we talked last week about how Miles was singing Christmas songs in class and got into a little trouble.
Don't
right?
let me forget.
Yes.
I have a Miles update for you at the end of your story.
Oh, I'm excited about this. I like that I'm getting updates about my son from someone
from
else.
Your co-host.
But as we were leaving the park last night, Miles was singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" like full throated.
Yes.
And I felt bad, but I was like, buddy, we have Christmas in our hearts, but the rest of the park may not be there yet. Like there's Halloween stuff everywhere. My son's like, "We wish you a Merry Christmas." I mean, just like fully going for it. And so I felt bad though. But should I feel bad or what?
No.
What do you think? Do you think it's okay?
Do you feel bad about shutting him down?
I feel bad about shutting him
You should
down.
probably feel a little bad.
I should feel bad. I should feel bad.
And the only reason why is because though yes, it is spooky season at the Disneyland Resort. I don't know if you noticed, but Sleeping Beauty's castle is currently covered in snow.
It is.
And icicles.
Sure.
And I wondered why they were doing that, because usually they don't like to mix sort of seasons. And I think the reason is they were shooting some of their videos for their holiday content. I don't know if you saw that on socials, but like John Legend, he was there performing recently out in front of the castle, and he was wearing I think a red velvet suit or something like that.
Tracks.
So I'm guessing they're pre-shooting a lot of those performances.
That makes sense.
So it is interesting that you've got all the Winky the Pumpkin over by the train station,
right?
And then Sleeping Beauty's castle sort of covered in snow, and icicles.
Yeah.
But maybe you should feel a little bit
that I shut down the spirit of joy and Christmas. In
well,
my son?
because this happened to me this morning, and I didn't want to bring this up just yet. I wanted to save it for this news segment later, but it's on my heart, and I feel like I need to share it right now. Is that I went to Dollar Tree on the way here this morning, and I'll tell you why in a little bit. Okay. But I didn't get what I was hoping to get, but I did buy 20 Pathway candy cane lights.
Fun.
They're like $1.28.
$1.28
per. That was a throwback to Adam Sandler. That was a deep cut.
That was a deep cut for the 90s kids.
The 90s kids who listened to that album felt so sneaky listening to that in their room. If only my parents knew. Anyway, don't listen to that with kids in the room. But I got these candy cane pathway lights because we were at Lowe's the other day.
Sure.
Shopping for Christmas decor, which we'll get into here in a little bit. And their candy cane lights were $7 a pop.
Sure.
But they didn't even have lights in them.
Yeah.
But the ones at Dollar Tree are battery powered, and they're LED.
Love that.
So I bought 20 of them, and I had them hanging over my arm, walking out of because I was I can't put these in a bag, because they're I don't know, maybe 3 feet tall. And I was in the parking lot, and this lady looks at me, and she goes, "Christmas already?"
You're like, "Baby, you don't even know."
And I looked at her, and I said, "Ma'am, it is always Christmas in my heart."
That's right.
I think that's what I lean into. It's we've talked about this, in recent seasons, is that early days we hated on spooky season.
Sure.
And I still do to an extent.
Yeah,
but what we've really gotten into lately, I think, is this idea of whatever you're into, whatever you love, whether you want to listen to Christmas music in April or October or whatever, just live your truth.
Yeah.
If that's what's in your heart, live it and love it. So that's the only reason I
love that.
Bring it up.
Give me my update on my son.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on with my son.
What's going on with my kid?
Well, his teacher called. No.
Oh, no.
He's been singing Christmas carols. No. So you mentioned in our season premiere episode that Miles swore to you that you put up the Christmas decorations on October 20th every year.
25th, he says.
No, he said 20th.
20th, okay.
And so I was curious because remember I was maybe it was because of that Hallmark Channel thing. Eric, I went back to our Instagram.
Did a little digging.
On October 20th of last year, we posted a partnership thing with Hallmark Channel with you and Miles and your whole family with Sophie and Lisa with a drone, doing a drop, and it was October 20th.
So you were right.
He was right.
Yes.
How amazing that Miles remembered that it was October 20th.
He's got a steel trap up
How does he know? Because he's not on Instagram. He's not scrolling our IG and be oh, what date did they put
I think what it does is it shows you how important it was to him, frankly.
Yeah.
It really, that date was seared in his mind of now we get to celebrate Christmas.
So are you feeling worse about shutting him down at Disneyland yesterday? Or
yes, I am. I am.
You know what you're going to do when you go home. You're going to be blasting Christmas carols.
Absolutely.
Buddy,
Absolutely.
let's do it.
Let's do it.
We're going to go Christmas carol around the neighborhood. Let it fly, brother. But anyway, as Eric mentioned earlier, we do have a lot of the loyal people, the Christmas Countdown crew, who come back and listen episode over episode. And we're so grateful for you. But if you're one of those new people who maybe is dipping your toe into the holly jolly waters of Christmas Countdown, welcome. If this is your first time here, please make sure you subscribe to the show. That way you don't miss any new episodes. Plus, we have a whole back catalog of, I think, over 80 episodes you can go back and binge right now. So if you love these rabbit holes and all this nonsense, there's so much there for you, friends, that you can go back and listen to. So make sure you subscribe. That way you don't miss a moment. And if you are loving what you are hearing here on Christmas Countdown, please make sure you rate and review the show. We'd love to hear what you guys think. It also helps more people to discover what we're doing here. And if you are super new to the crew, make sure you follow us on social media. We are at Christmas Countdown Show on Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and we're also on Facebook. You can also watch full video episodes of every episode of Christmas Countdown and Disney Countdown and Theater Countdown on our YouTube page, which is youtube.com/Countdown Network.
Does the slash matter if it's forwards or backwards?
I think it does. But who uses a forward slash?
I don't know.
Yeah, like when we were recording episodes of Theater Countdown with Ben and Michael, Ben would always say backslash. And I said, Ben, I think at this stage of the game,
everybody knows it's backslash.
Who uses a forward slash?
Yeah.
Like maybe coders.
Yeah.
Or like people who are making those those images with like the little guys post like this. That's the only time that a forward slash is relevant in this world. And if you're some IT person out there tell us why a forward slash is necessary. But yes,
well, a forward slash is very important.
Without
when
you realize the
creating
whole world would
code,
come crumbling down.
You don't appreciate the forward slash like you should, and it will be your doom.
Probably right.
Probably right. Should we read some reviews?
Yeah, we got a couple that have come in since we were last here, which is super
do you want me to read the first one?
Yeah, I know it's probably a very large font for you there. Oof. I just looked down.
This is very okay. Wait, I went sideways. Now I got it. Okay. All right. This is "Wish I Had Found This Sooner."
Aw.
We appreciate that. And that's not the first time we've heard that. A lot of people who sort of stumble upon our show and then are like, oh my God. And there's so much more and they love to go deep into it. And they gave us 5 golden stars.
Yeah.
And they said, and this is from
somebody.
Evan Quill. Evan Quill. E-V-A-N Quill. Evan Quill.
When I looked at it, I immediately thought of one thing.
What's that?
Well, now I think of 2 things. One was like Dayquil or NyQuil.
Sure.
Because it's Quil.
Yeah.
But now that I'm thinking about it again, I'm thinking of Professor Quirrell from Harry Potter.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Anyway.
I don't know.
Evan, did you go to Hogwarts?
I don't remember who that is.
Professor Quirrell?
Who's Professor Quirrell?
I
still have one movie to go.
He's in the first one. He's like the guy who's got the turban on his head, and he's hiding.
Oh, and he's got a thing on his
very nervous.
On his head.
Troll in the dungeon.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Just thought you should know.
Yes. Okay.
He passes out. Anyway,
that was good. Save it for the Harry Potter countdown show. Okay. Here we go. They say Evan Quill.
Shut people down in the.
Evan Quill says, "I was looking for new podcasts and found this one." And now I'm going to read it in that voice.
Oh, like he's Professor
I was
Quirrell.
looking for new podcasts and found this one, and I really wish I'd found it sooner. I started at the first episode and have been listening non-stop since. I'm already through season 1 after 2 days of listening. Cannot wait to continue listening and get caught up by Christmas this year. It's the ultimate Christmas countdown.
That's the best review you've ever read on the show.
I was very
really
into that
good.
one.
I was so wrapped up in your performance that I wasn't even hearing what was happening.
Well, that's good then.
That felt very, and I know you did a production of this recently. It felt very the play that goes wrong.
Oh yes, it was very
a
little bit
very in the pocket.
Yes.
But Evan, thank you so much for
thank
those
you, Evan.
kind words.
Evan's I don't talk like that. Yeah. I wanted to say I found this and I loved it.
Exactly, and now you've just made me sound
you've
preposterous.
Ruined it.
Well, thank you, Evan. We appreciate you. So glad you found the show, and I love that you binged everything within 2 days. That's amazing. That's what we were just talking about. That was synergy right there. All right, we have one more to read on this episode, and I love the title
you'll
of this review because it's an alliteration.
He loves that.
And you know I love alliterations. And this title is Peddlers of Positivity. Peddlers is a word we don't use nearly enough.
I like to peddle joy.
We do peddle joy.
We
peddle joy and hope and light.
Bikes.
And what?
And bikes. We pedal bikes.
It's true.
I got Emilio on that one.
That was solid. We got to just cut to Emilio every time he laughs at one of our jokes. It'll make us feel a lot better.
And then we'll cut to Chris, whose stone face is.
Yeah,
not
who's
funny.
scrolling Instagram and not even listening to what's happening.
He says, no, not funny.
See, that's yin and yang.
Yeah, there we go.
You need those because some of our listeners are doing what Chris is doing.
Exactly.
And the other half
like,
are laughing away.
Please, sir, please stop doing that.
The Chris's of the world have unsubscribed, by the way. Anyway, Peddlers of Positivity, and this comes to us. How did you zoom in on
I just
yours?
turned my phone sideways.
Okay. I'm 42.
How do you work this thing?
This is what tap. This is coming to us from Michael Manny.
He's got an alliterative. Wait. Alliterative? Is that a word that I just made up? An alliterative name?
You used a word in our season premiere that I honestly meant to ask you about.
Which word?
Barote? What did you said? Beirut?
By-rote?
Beirut? Was that it?
It's like a phrase.
You're like,
to
it
do
sounds a little Beirut or something like that.
Bespoke?
No, it wasn't bespoke. It was Barote or he wrote. Murder, She Wrote. We'll go back and listen to
I
it.
like following your brain, though.
I am so sorry, Michael.
By-rote?
No, you said it sounds a little. I don't want this to sound a little. Anyway, I can't remember it. We'll go find it and we'll pull it up. Pull the transcripts. Anyway, sorry, Michael. You had a review, and we are going to share it with you right now. Hey, Danny and Eric, I found your podcast last year after Christmas and binged all of the past episodes in the winter and spring. About a week ago, I was thinking I could really use some of that positivity those two guys are always peddling on Christmas Countdown. I'm just picturing us just riding on bikes. We should do like a funny video of us just
We'll go through the whole thing on little bikes.
just
we
a
pedal
little,
joy.
We pedal joy. Positivity for you. I was so I'm so sorry, Michael. I was so disappointed I didn't see any new episodes and thought maybe they're not doing it anymore.
Oh, no.
We would never. Then this morning, when I was pulling up a podcast to put on, I saw you dropped a new episode. It was just what I needed. I'm so glad to be back in the Christmas spirit with you guys. Your podcast lifts my spirit and brings back such fond memories of childhood Christmases.
Yeah.
And that's from Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
5 golden stars, by the way.
5 golden stars.
Yep. That was amazing. Thank you so much for your kind words, Evan and Michael. We do have some more reviews to read, but we'll save those for future episodes. If you have a review that you want to potentially have shared on our show, you can leave those on Apple or on Spotify now. You can leave comments on episodes. And so we're going to start sourcing reviews from those as well. I've seen actually over the last day or so since our season premiere dropped, people have been messaging. So we're going to have a little bit of a backlog. But make sure you drop those there, or you can email us, kringle@christmascountdownshow.com.
Now, Danny, you were talking about how people listen to the show and rate and review and everything, but we have some sort of businessy news.
We do.
But we should talk about Realm, our exciting news with Realm.
Very merry news is what I would call it. Massively merry, gigantically jolly, to stick with the alliterations of Michael and the Peddlers of Positivity. We sort of mentioned it off the cuff in our premiere episode. I dropped the name Realm. And we're so grateful. You know, we started this podcast back in 2021 from our garages for fun. You know, we always say, we thought our wives and our moms would listen. And thankfully they did. And so did a lot of other people like you all who are listening and watching right now. And thanks to you all, this show has grown. And with growth comes interest from other entities and this amazing company called Realm that does podcasts for Warner Brothers and Paramount and a bunch of other, big production companies and studios around the world reached out to us and wanted to align with Countdown Network. And so now all of our shows are available through Realm, which is super, super exciting.
Disney Countdown.
Theater Countdown, Parenting Countdown, which we're working on, 90s Countdown. We have so many exciting countdown shows in the works, which will hopefully, be launching here in the very near future. So all you parents out there and 90s fans will have some more countdown shows to be engaging in. But we're so grateful to be connected with Realm. I think there's a press release that's going to be going out here on November 1st, which will officially announce the partnership and what that means. But yeah, I think from my perspective, it's gratitude. And I think it's a testament, hopefully, to anyone out there who has like a dream or an idea. You're like, gosh, I feel like people want this thing, whatever that thing is, to do it. Because I think ideas choose us. We've talked about this on the show before. A friend of mine, shared that with me years ago, and he said, much like any relationship, an idea is a living, breathing thing, and you have to nurture it and you have to take care of it, or it will find a new home. Just like any relationship in life. And I think we've nurtured this a lot. It's been a labor of love, and it's something we really care about. And to know that so many people around the world, hundreds of thousands of people have found our shows and love what we're doing and what we built here really means the world. So,
it's very cool to be like in meetings with like real professional people talking about Christmas Countdown show. Like
it is kind of wild.
We had that meeting the other day with like some of their ad execs trying to talk about like which ads are we trying to like help to sell the show and sell into the show. And they just wanted to know about us and what the tone of the show was, but it was a real meeting. Like those were real professional people.
Yeah,
and we were talking about this, which was amazing.
Do you think the reason that those moments don't hit, like you're saying, it was a real professional meeting, is because everything is so virtual now? Where like if we walked into say a boardroom, in a big like 10-story building, and everyone walked in like suits and stuff, and it's like, gentlemen, we get you something to drink.
Yeah.
Whereas like I was sitting outside of Starbucks, I think, and you were in like your kitchen.
My kitchen, yeah.
It feels a little bit more casual these days, but like the weight of it all
is still there. Yeah.
Is still the same, and I think that's maybe a good note for anyone out there who's building something right now, is that it can feel very artificial is sort of the word that I think of, because everything is so digital, everything is so virtual, but we are still connecting with real humans around the world who are riding in their cars right now, or on the train, or making their kids breakfast or dinner, and like we're a part of their lives.
Yeah. Hi.
Don't
burn the eggs.
Don't overcook the pancakes. Take it from parents who know kids do not like
Stay focused.
Burnt pancakes. Yeah, exactly. But it's just wild. And I think really what I want to come back to is just saying a huge thank you to each and every one of you who have listened to our show, who've reached out to us, who've joined our Patreon, who've spread the word, posted on your social media, told your parents, your friends, whatever. This would not be happening without all of you. And our hope is, and it's our commitment, it's not a hope, it's a commitment that what this is and what this stands for, Countdown Network, will never be lost. It will always be a safe space for people to come and to talk about what they love, and to feel like they can show up as whoever they are in that moment in their life. And that's what we're committed to here. So thank you, everyone. Anyway, before we get to small talk and catch up, speaking of fans and people who've been loyal to us from the beginning, one of our loyal Patreon supporters.
Did we get fan mail?
We got our first piece of fan mail of the season, which gives us an opportunity to bust out this special delivery bag that I think I bought this at like the dollar store or something like that. But it has served us well for the last couple of years. And so this first thing, I'm going to try to turn it away from the camera so we won't reveal the address. But this is coming to us from Jen Jones up in Idaho.
Jen. Hello, Jen.
Remember Jen sent us.
We got those awesome hockey hats.
Yes. Yeah. The Spud. Was it the Spuds or something? Yeah. She sent one for Chris and John. Not for Emilio. But he was gone. But let me give you your ASMR. First ASMR this season is going to be me opening up a United Postal Service priority mail envelope. Ooh, that was crisp. They're wrapped, and there's a card.
Oh, fun!
Do you want to do the card?
This is the first opening of the season. I love it.
The first gift
to my Christmas makers. Ooh, I like that. We're Christmas makers.
Christ makers.
Now here's something that is very interesting.
Yeah.
It's a little detail, but I like it. Maybe it was an accident, but I somehow like it.
Okay.
The envelope is like this, right? Now, where would you think that I would open? You'd think I would open this way, right? From the top.
Yeah.
The opening is on the side.
Well, that's kind of fun.
And I don't know why, but that has just piqued my interest.
I feel like if you were making a video like we are right now,
you go,
you could just, and then pull it out and reveal.
I like it. And it says, sending you smiles and sunshine, with the U is a Scrabble letter.
Oh, that's cool.
Interesting. The card is Scrabbly Blooms.
Oh, that's fun.
Scrabbly Blooms.
I like that.
Okay, here we go. It says, I saw these and just knew my boys needed them.
Aww.
I hope you enjoy. Thanks for thriving? Thanks for, what do you think that is?
I think that's throwing
Christmas like confetti.
Aw.
Interesting.
What an interesting, metaphor. That'd be an analogy or a metaphor?
A metaphor.
Okay.
But I'm wondering, is this
going to be a confetti bomb?
Is there some sort of confetti bomb?
I don't know.
Are they labeled, or is it?
Honestly,
okay, here we go.
A confetti bomb might be the number one thing that would be the worst thing you could send to me.
You should not have told me that.
Oh my gosh. What's your address, by the way?
Honestly, get ready. And the best part is now you don't know when it's coming.
Because here's the thing. Oh man. I was just gonna move on from that, but I just need to sit in the feeling of this moment.
You gotta feel in this, yeah.
Because I hate glitter.
Ooh. Oh, even more details. I
I
like
hate
it.
glitter.
Not just confetti, but
so
glitter.
much.
Can I tell you, there is an ad airing on the radio right now on Los Angeles Sports Radio that's all about litter and saying, like, one piece of litter can ruin this state or whatever, right? And so it's like, don't litter. Make sure you pick up your litter because one piece of litter can ruin this park or whatever.
Yeah.
And every time I hear it, I think glitter. And
they're not wrong.
One piece of glitter could ruin this state park. And
it could ruin my mood on Christmas morning. I'll tell you that
Danny,
much.
You should not have told
you
me
ever
this.
like? I accidentally bought wrapping paper a couple Christmases ago that was glittery. And I don't know what I was thinking.
It's still a problem. I'll tell you this. I just did a load of laundry a couple weeks ago that my daughter must have had some sort of – she had a glitter dress that she wore to like a dance. Everything is covered in glitter in my house
the whole
now.
inside of your like dryer.
The dryer
covered
and
in it.
everybody's clothes now have glitter on them.
You don't want to do that to me.
I'm opening this up. I'm opening this up.
All right, it's wrapped. Here we go.
Here we go.
Here's your ASMR.
Okay. Some sort of – ooh.
Baby, let's go.
Okay.
Let's go.
Oh, fun. This is –
dude.
I love this. Oh,
they're
look
button-down
at that.
shirts.
They're button-down shirts. Mine says Griswold Family Christmas.
And mine says National Lampoon's Christmas
That
Vacation.
Is great.
Look
Why
at
is
this.
the carpet all wet, Todd?
I don't know, Margot. Oh, my gosh. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Where's the Tylenol? Oh, I'm blocking my face
great.
on here. What else is on here? Fun old-fashioned family Christmas.
Oh, dear. Did I break wind?
I like for the Cousin Eddie quote. It says, Merry Christmas, water was full.
Oh, because it's on a shirt. Yeah, sure.
Oh, this is brilliant.
Clark.
Oh, look, it's even got, yours has the ball of lights that he gives to
This
Russ.
is great. Look
This
at that.
is awesome, Jen.
Thank you, Jen.
Oh, I will wear this proudly.
I love this.
Yeah, this is going to look great. Maybe we'll wear, I don't know if I can wear this on camera because white.
And it's a lot of words on the.
Yeah. But
you know
I
what
will.
we could do, even, I do want to wear it, but we should hang them on the walls. Right?
Ooh. Dude, I'm so glad you brought up hanging.
Yeah.
You know what dawned on me?
What's that?
We have not hung any of our ornaments on our trees.
Oh, my gosh, you're right.
I know. I thought about it the other day, and I was like, oh, I'll remember to do that before we record.
We'll have to do that.
But I clearly did not.
Thank you, Jen. This is an awesome
Jen.
shirt.
That's
I love it.
That's so sweet of you.
There's a bottle of Tylenol. That's great.
If you want to send some fan mail to us, you don't have to, but if you want to, just email us kringle@christmascountdownshow.com, and we'll give you our P.O. box. We always love, getting little pieces of fan mail as we shared. We have these amazing ornaments that people from all around the world, from Ireland to the Pacific Northwest, have shared with us, and we promise by episode 3 they'll be hanging.
Yes.
Oh, Kenya. Remember we got ornaments from Kenya?
Twice, I think.
Yeah, which is amazing. So thank you, Jen, for that. Anyway, I did want to chat about a couple things real quick before we get to our Christmas news. So on the premiere episode, I shared that we were doing trunk or treat.
Yes.
At my daughter's school.
Yes.
And my theme for my trunk was Christmas.
Amazing.
Which I was really excited about. And it came off like really, really great.
I saw a picture. It looked great.
Didn't it look cool? Yeah. I ended up having like this game element. I bought these like Christmas tree things. You like do like a ring toss.
Can I just say, before you go into, because I want to hear what you're going to say.
Yeah.
I was unaware of how intense trunk or treat is.
Same.
Because, am I ruining your story here?
No, let's just have an organic moment.
Because Miles had a trunk or treat at his fall festival, right? And I was not one of the cars, but we went to it. Now, I had been to a trunk or treat. Maybe I hadn't. Maybe I had imagined it in my head. I thought it was like a bunch of parents. Everybody opens their trunk. Maybe you hang like a little confetti off the trunk.
Yep.
Or like a little streamer or something. And then everybody just hands out candy. At Miles's, everything was themed.
Yes.
There was a DeLorean there. There was the Ghostbusters like hearse car was there.
Like the real DeLorean?
A real DeLorean, a real Ghostbusters.
Oh my gosh.
Car, I don't know, whatever you call it. There was one guy who did a Notre Dame thing, which I appreciate, and it was like he had a semi truck that had a TV, and then he had all these skeletons wearing like Notre Dame. No, a pickup truck. Sorry, did I say semi truck?
Yeah,
I meant
I was like, wow,
a pickup truck. But he had like a TV in it, and then like a bunch of skeletons and like Notre Dame jerseys and helmets. There was like a Shrek one. There was a Jurassic Park one that had a full like the opening, the big gates, and all their kids were in little Tyrannosaurus Rex costumes. It was so intense,
dude. Same thing.
Intense.
never participated. I've been to one before, but it was at my daughter's preschool, and it was like mostly the teachers are like decorating. It's something they've done with the kids in class.
Sure.
And it's like, a big piece of like, parchment paper
Sure.
with like their footprints on it or whatever.
Sure.
Eric, I really need to step up my game for next year.
This
Like
is a good
I'm
opportunity for you.
I'm already game planning. Didn't I text you the other? No, I was texting my other buddies. I was like, I want to like put on like a chimney on the top of my truck with like I want to like a smoke element.
Sure.
I want to get a snow machine.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, my truck's gonna be awesome. I had like an inflatable. I like really like thought I did a good job lighting the back of my truck to make it look like it was like snowy ground. Sure. Dude, there were people who like had like full on pirate ships and all.
There was a pirate ship in mine too, yes.
Dude, it was incredible. And I was like, man, I feel really silly. And they were dressed to match.
Yes.
I wore a Christmas shirt.
Sure.
And I was like, oh my gosh, I really like need to step up my game. So I've already started researching for next year, like things I want to add. And I will say, we talked about this in the premiere about this idea of like, if you start doing Christmas too early, does it start confusing kids,
Sure.
right? And I actually had like one kid walked up to me and they're like, Christmas? And I was like, yeah. And she goes, that's confusing. And I was like, all right, fair, heard. I said, but like for me, Christmas always lives in my heart, always and forever. But I will say a lot of people were like pretty stoked about it.
Good.
And like one element that I like thought of that I thought was going to be really cool is I like mounted a speaker in the back and I like had a plan to play Christmas music.
Yeah.
But I was right next to the DJ.
Oh.
And so he was playing, like Thriller and all this stuff. You couldn't hear any of my Christmas tunes. But it was super fun, and my daughters seemed to be really proud of what we did, and they wanted to like hang out and like help me like hand out candy. Cool. And I did end up buying candy canes.
Nice.
So like, and the kids, like I had some chocolate and candy canes. The candy canes were so much more popular than the Halloween candy. So that was super fun.
You know what you should do next time?
Yeah.
Is have a tub of candy canes and a tub of chocolate, and then put on each tub, say, which holiday is better.
Ooh.
And then the kids have to choose, and then it's like an informal poll, a straw poll, if
like
you
when
will.
you go to like a sandwich shop and like the tips or, like, Halloween or Christmas or whatever it sort of is. Yeah. Okay.
That's a good idea.
I'm going to do that. That's going to be part of my idea for next year. One other thing I need to bring up is, do you remember, I feel like it was season 1, early days when we would chat for like 3 hours, in the middle of a Tuesday.
Not like now.
Not like now where we chat for 2 hours and 45 minutes in the middle of a Tuesday. Well played. Ding, jingle, jingle, jingle. Anyway, you did not Christmas that opportunity.
That's right, never.
We're bringing that back this season. I'm committed to it. Anyway, back in season 1 when we would talk for 15 minutes longer on a Tuesday. Do you remember I talked about like when does your Christmas light setup at home become a display?
Yes.
Because we were talking about Christmas light fight and how everyone referred to their stuff as like a display. And I said, I think it's when you no longer can fit all of your decorations in your garage.
Sure.
After the
You need a
season is
separate
over.
storage space.
You got a storage unit. Eric, it dawned on me this year when I was going to my storage unit to pick something up, and I realized that both of my Christmas trees and my wreath and a tub of Christmas decor were in my storage unit.
You're a display.
I'm a display now.
You did it.
I did it.
You did it, Danny.
And part of me thought
dreams do come true.
I was like, should I feel shame?
No.
Should I feel shame that I pay $100 and something a month just to put stuff I don't use in a room?
No.
And I was like, nah. I'm really proud of myself.
Here's a question. I don't have a storage unit, but I have a shed that is 95% filled with Christmas stuff.
Okay.
Am I a display?
I think so.
It's not in my house.
But you have a secondary storage spot
only for Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is literally, when I say filled to the brim, I don't mean like, oh, it's pretty full. I'm talking like you open it, it is touching the ceiling and all 4 walls. It is a full square cube of completely filled Christmas decorations.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think you're a display as well.
Thank you.
We've officially crossed over.
We did it.
We are display guys. And would you believe I did my first Christmas decor shopping trip of the year.
What'd you get?
So Emerson, as you know, she gets to pick out the new thing every year.
Yeah.
And we went to like a local hardware store here that I like to go there first because they get the stuff that you don't see at like the bigger box, sort of retailers. And they had something that I knew she was going to love. But I got to be honest. And this is like sort of going back to the moment you had with Miles with singing Christmas carols. Is like, it doesn't fit the vibe of what I've created. You know,
this doesn't work with my vision.
You know, I like vignettes.
Yeah.
And I don't have a vignette that currently would benefit from a unicorn. Okay?
It doesn't tell the story that I'm telling.
No, but I knew the second I saw it, and it was such a conflict moment as a dad.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have it on display yet, but I saw it in the back. And I was like, do I tell Emmy it's there? Or do I, let's go look on this aisle over here, sweetheart.
To another option.
But I was like, come on, be a good dad.
Yeah.
Show your kid that there is this option. So we went back, and she goes, oh my gosh, Daddy, I have to have this. And I said, I hear you. I so hear you on this. You love unicorns. Your favorite animal is a unicorn. Your favorite color is rainbow. Sure. This is you.
Yeah.
I said, but there are other stores in town.
Yeah.
So we know this unicorn's not going anywhere.
Sure.
So why don't we go look at the other stores first?
Some other options.
And if you don't find something there that you like more, then I promise you we will come back and get the unicorn. Now, in all honesty, did I hard sell some stuff at another location?
Sure.
100%.
Yeah.
But what I will add is that the thing that Emmy ended up picking out was not anything that I hard sold.
Okay.
And she picked out something that is the perfect fit for our house. It's not an inflatable. It's not like a light up mold.
Sure.
She bought one of those like projection things.
Oh, those are cool.
But it's one that's just all snowflakes.
Mm-hmm.
And why it's perfect is one of my vignettes is all snowmen.
Yeah.
And I was
Put
like,
it on there.
I was like, babe, this is, she goes, I know, Daddy. It's going to be perfect for our little snowman area. And I was like,
that's awesome. She really
gets
great.
it.
I love that.
And so she was excited to pick it. And so that's our first new edition.
I love that. Can I tell you a fun fact about unicorns?
Please. They're not real. No.
Yes, they are. When Miles and I went to Scotland, did you know that the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn?
What?
And so in Scotland, in a lot of their town squares, like where they'll have like a big fountain, at the top of it will be a unicorn. And the reason is because the only animal that in theory can kill a lion is a unicorn.
Whoa.
And what is the national animal of England? The 3 lions.
Really?
And so the reason that Scotland has a unicorn as their national animal is because Scotland's always to England, right?
Wow.
It's like so deeply ingrained in their DNA to like anything that England does that they want to.
How did I not know this?
Isn't that an amazing fact?
I spent 2 weeks in Scotland a few years ago. It also is funny because like there's like Nessie. Yeah. Is it just that like Scottish people are really into like make believe characters like unicorns?
Well, Nessie is real, so
obviously, yes. And so are unicorns,
yeah,
obviously.
Of course.
That's so cool. And see, now I need to go back to Scotland.
Yeah,
and I got to take my kids.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty great.
My wife is listening to this.
Scotland trip.
So I know we were talking about a Disney World next year, but it's probably going to be
in Scotland.
It's probably going to be Edinburgh.
I love
instead.
it.
I was really nervous to do that accent for a second, but I feel like I kind of did.
You
okay.
held your own there. You held your own. You held your
own. So we're pretty deep into this episode right now. How long have we been going, boys?
45 minutes.
Should we do maybe just one news?
Sure. Let's do one news.
Just one piece of news here.
We interrupt our program to bring you this
Christmas news. That's right. Okay. There's one on this list that I think is so exciting.
Well, there are 4 options here.
There are 4 options, but there's one that I really am excited about.
I think,
and I think it's appropriate because we are early in the season.
Is it going to be the one that has to do with food?
It is. It sure is. Did you post this or did Chris post this?
Chris posted it.
Chris posted this. Chris found that DiGiorno's Pizza, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno's, not an ad.
But pay us.
But pay us. Is doing a DiGiorno's Thanksgiving pizza.
That's amazing.
That sounds awesome.
They're not only doing it, it's making a comeback, according to this article.
It was a thing before?
Apparently, but I'm confused because it's like coming back, but on the box it says new, !
That doesn't make any sense.
Chris, have you tried this pizza before? Is this in fact new or is it making a comeback?
It's making a comeback. I have not tried it yet, though.
We all need to try it.
So what's on
this
it?
Season?
You got turkey?
You got turkey.
Turkey on pizza, that makes sense.
You got, looks like green beans.
Okay.
You got little cranberries.
I'm not a cranberry guy, but I can deal with it for the sake of what it is.
That was the one that sort of held me up. Because like I've talked about stuffing in the past and how I don't like apples in my stuffing.
Yeah.
But I've grown to be okay with it because my wife makes great stuffing or dressing, depending on where you live in the world. But yeah, it looks like it's got.
Is there stuffing on it?
It has, roasted turkey.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want your pop-up. Gravy, cranberries, green beans, sweet potatoes, mozzarella and cheddar cheese.
Okay.
And, of course, crispy.
Stuffing.
No, your favorite word in the world.
Black olives?
Word.
My favorite word in the world.
My favorite word to hear you say.
Onions! Yeah! We're back, baby.
Onions are making a comeback. Yes. But what's funny about it is the way they spell it is there's no G in it. I don't know why.
Well, because it's a faulty article.
That's cool. Food and Wine doesn't know what they're doing. They're not reputable.
They don't have real journalists
and it's on a Detroit-style crust.
Which I love that.
What is a Detroit-style crust?
Detroit style is not quite... Well, it's kind of pan style, but it means that on the edges, it's usually rectangular or square. And it's like the cheese is kind of like burnt up to the edges. Ooh, I love Detroit-style pizza.
Do you say Detroit or Detroit?
Detroit.
I say Detroit.
I'm going to Detroit, yeah.
And I think the reason I do it is because from Detroit down to Houston.
Sure.
New York to L.A.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What would Eminem say?
He probably, I don't know. What would he say?
Detroit.
What do you say, Detroit?
Yeah, I think so.
Detroit or Detroit?
Detroit.
They're so close. What do you say, Chris? Detroit or Detroit?
Detroit.
Detroit?
Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Emilio?
Detroit?
We need to put a poll.
You're out manned here.
Detroit. And it sounds like more like
Detroit.
Detroit.
I'm from Detroit.
Maybe it's because my name starts with a D. I really want to
You want to emphasize the D, probably.
In Detroit.
Probably.
But we need to taste
we should,
this.
yes. Okay, so what we'll have to do is we'll have to get one, cook it at your house, and then we'll taste it here on the show.
Or maybe we do like a social media video. Oh, my gosh.
What's that?
I never posted that thing on our Instagram
okay.
this morning.
So we're going to keep talking, and can we do our game while you post, or is that going to be too confusing for you?
Hopefully this is easy. Instagram was not cooperating earlier. We have a new piece of content we wanted to put up for everybody.
Got to get the content out.
Again,
this is the optimal window to post the content.
It is the optimal window, okay? I
shouldn't make fun of Danny. Danny does such an amazing job with all of our social media. I'm just
build an empire over here.
This is the optimal window to post
I've
the
become
content.
that guy. Like, I used to make fun of that guy.
Yes,
and now I 100% am that guy.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm algorithm guy.
Yes, you are.
I'm going to try to post this very, very quickly as to not disrupt our flow.
Okay, so we have so many things to talk about in regards to Christmas news. I have a bunch of memes and things that I've been collecting over the months off. So we will get to all of those things, I promise. But we are going to do a game today. Then let's go to our countdown, yeah?
I'm in.
All right. Chris, do you have a game for us today?
I do have a game for us today.
Great.
I have a fun game for us today. I'm really excited about this one. We played a similar game on Disney Countdown last season, I think, and we're doing a brand new game for Christmas Countdown. We love alliterations, so I can't call it Family Feud, so we're going to call it Christmas Clash.
Ooh. I want a T-shirt that says Christmas Clash.
I want a cool graphic on screen right now. Christmas
I'll make
Clash.
it, and it'll look just like Family Feud.
Okay.
On it.
And then we put it on a shirt and sell that.
That's right.
On Etsy, because we're back, baby.
We're back.
Yeah. Inside scoop. Patreon.
Link in the episode notes.
So here's how it works. Basically, if you don't know, it's Family Feud or Family Fortune, depending on where you're from. The way
you're not going to kiss us on the lips, though, right?
What is that called? Family Fortune.
You're not. I said you're not going to kiss us on the lips, right? As the host.
I'm not. No, it's not a Richard.
What was
Dawson
that guy?
version.
Richard Dawson.
Maybe it's the Richard Karn.
He got real
version.
friendly with the
real friendly with those
contestants.
contestants.
Johnson family. But wait, where's it called Family Fortune?
In the UK.
Oh, it is. Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
There you go.
The way it works is I surveyed 100 members of the Christmas Countdown crew and asked them all kinds of Christmassy questions. I'll start by asking you both a question, and whoever answers with the most popular answer will have the chance to play the round or pass to the other person. The object, obviously, is to correctly guess the top answers given by the listeners. If you get 3 wrong answers, the other person will have the chance to guess and steal the round.
So for the initial one, do you want us to go buzz to see who gets in first?
Yeah, you'll do a buzz first, and then we'll see who has the number one answer, the highest up answer, and we'll see if you can finish the round.
I'm in.
All right.
So let's just do the first one. Name a classic Christmas song that gets stuck in your head for days. I should have cut you off and see what you put.
That's fair.
But
That'll get
please
stuck
listen
in
to
your
the
head
whole
for
question.
days. I'm going to go with It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year by Andy Williams.
Okay. And I'm going to give a better answer.
I'm going to say that is incorrect.
What?
There's
not
That
even
didn't even
on
make
the
the
list.
list.
And what are we doing? We're doing top 5?
This is going to be top 6. We're looking
Top
for
6.
for this,
Okay, great.
this category.
I'm going to go, and I'm going to say, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
That is the number 2 answer.
Wait,
so
that's
this
a classic?
Is Eric's to play or pass. What do you think?
I will play. I will play.
You'll play.
Wow.
Okay. I'm going to say White Christmas.
White Christmas, number 3 with 7%.
Okay.
Very good.
Next, I'm going to say a Last Christmas.
Last Christmas, 5%.
Wow. You've gotten 3
All
out
right,
of the
so
6.
I've got 3.
And that is the number 5 as well.
Okay. What am I? It's not going to be Jingle Bells. I'll say Jingle Bells. I might get an X here, but Jingle Bells.
You will not. That's the number 1 answer.
Wow. Okay, great.
Jeez, dude, you're running the board.
Okay, so how many do I have left? One more?
2.
You have 2 left. This
2
is top
left.
6 we're looking for.
What? I'm going to go. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Incorrect. Ooh. Okay. All right. That's my first X.
One.
I have 2 more answers. Stuck in your head at Christmas. Rudolph. I'm going to say Rudolph.
Whoa.
That's going to be your second X.
Oh boy. Okay. Okay. Think, Eric. Think. Man, I just go through life and
And get ready, Danny, and prepare an answer.
I'm so ready. I'm huddling with my family over here.
he's huddling with his family. We're gonna need an answer, Eric. We're gonna need an answer. I'll go. I'm gonna go. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna get timed here. I think I got timed out.
Really?
I can't think of another one.
That's fair. Danny, what do you think?
I gotta be fair to myself.
So there's 2 left.
2 left.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Christmas song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire.
And unfortunately, the steal did not work. That one's incorrect.
What?
Number 4 is Jingle Bell Rock.
Oh, my
Number
gosh.
6, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
I was between Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas and Chestnuts
That was
Roasting
good
on an
though.
Open
This game
Fire.
is super fun. I love it. Okay.
Now, I'm curious, is this specific versions or just that song in general?
Song in general.
Is that how people have started?
I would assume it's probably just the song. Yeah, because
Okay,
it doesn't.
cool.
The question doesn't specify a
So
So how many
specific version.
So you get points there, right?
So I get points. So I got 4 correct answers.
But you would get
Yeah.
like the percentage
Oh, yeah.
equals points. But we'll just say
It doesn't matter.
round
Points
one
don't
goes to
matter.
you.
Sure, round
You're
one
doing
goes-
great.
Okay.
All right.
Dang it.
I
That
love
was
it. Okay,
tough.
this
I
is
didn't
great.
get a single one there.
This is good. This is good.
Ouch.
I
All
really
right.
thought Jingle Bells would not be on the list, and then it was number 1.
It's just one of those. My daughter sings it all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Miles.
All right.
probably sings
Next
it.
question.
Let's mix it up a little bit. We're looking for top 4 answers for this one. What's the most important thing Santa Claus needs to be?
I think you got it first.
I'm gonna say jolly.
Jolly is obviously number 1 answer. Do you want to pass or play?
I will pass.
Wow.
I'll let you play this one.
Okay. This is very broad.
Yeah.
So jolly. All right.
Strategic
That's what
passing.
the J stands for in Santa J. Claus.
Yeah, that's right.
Is jolly. Nicely done. I'm gonna go kind.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay. Nice.
Woo.
We got kind number 2. Looking for 2 more.
Okay. I'm gonna say generous.
Generous is your first X.
Dang, this is tough. This is really, really hard.
Yeah.
Okay, so jolly and kind. How about? Oh man.
I have my answer.
Do you?
I have my answer.
Okay.
yes.
I have one that's funny, but I don't think it's going to be on the list.
It's worth an X.
Do you think it's worth it?
Yeah.
Hungry.
I am
No,
not
no.
going to
No, come on, go to the judges. Go to
no,
the judges.
I know
Go
because
to-
I know what I'm gonna say. No. If you have to think about it, I have a more specific answer.
Yeah, it's unfortunately I can't take hungry.
Oh, come on. But wait. Are we going to comment on someone's appearance here? Is that where this is
The
going?
question is, what is the most important thing for Santa Claus to be?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Jolly, kind, And I have
Say
2
it.
strikes.
You have 2 strikes.
I don't know if I want to say it.
You didn't give the answers. This is from the Christmas crew. You're going to get timed out here. I'm going to need an answer.
Fat.
He says fat.
Fat. Number 3 is correct.
PH with a PH. He's fat.
He says PH. That's
No,
nice.
I'm kidding. All right, now this last one's going to be hard.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
This last one is difficult.
All right, so he's got to be jolly, kind. I wonder what people are like screaming in their cars right now or in their homes.
You're stalling right now. 'Cause
I
I'm
am.
gonna need an answer.
But this is called audience engagement. That's what all right, jolly, kind. I'm going to go with patient.
Patient is incorrect.
That's hard.
This one's tough.
I'm going to go.
How many people said no? Don't. No,
I'm going to say rosy cheeked.
Rosy cheeked is also incorrect.
Ooh. I was trying to think of something with a beard or something like that, right?
It's not. It's more of like a. I mean, I don't think you're gonna get it. It's magic. You have to be magic.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
tough.
That's fair. That's fair.
Unfortunately,
All right, good job.
Let's try.
You got the round.
Yeah.
You got the round.
We're tied.
That was good.
Want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
One more.
The tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Here we go. That was a
All
hard
right.
one.
What is the most overrated Christmas movie of all time? We're looking for the top 6 answers.
That
Okay.
was me. I'm going to go National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Get out of here.
Christmas Vacation coming in at number 5 is correct.
See, I
if you got it
intentionally
better-
did not
Sure.
because I feel like this is going to be a broad
Sure.
spectrum because this is all up to opinion
Sure.
here, right? Which I guess is what Family Feud is.
Overrated.
Overrated Christmas movie of all time. I think a lot of people, unfortunately, are going to say Elf.
Number 3, Elf.
Yeah.
So you get to pass or play.
Pass or play. You know what? I'm going to play.
Okay.
Let's do this.
He's going to play.
He's going to play, folks. All right, come on. We got this. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer. Yeah.
I'm going to go Polar Express.
Polar Express is not on there,
I was
unfortunately.
feeling pretty good about that one. Most overrated. It's got to be ones that people know and people think about. The Grinch.
Live action, specifically Grinch, number
Yes,
4
that's what I was
is
thinking,
correct.
So what? That's 3, 4, and 5 we got so far.
Yes.
All right. So what would be a number 1 overrated Christmas movie? I'm going to go with, there's certain ones I can't say. Because if people think they're overrated, I'm out of here. Because this is our crew.
Don't stall, Danny.
I
You got
know,
to give
okay.
answers.
I'm going to go with, this is hard. It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonderful Life coming at number 2. 10%.
that's hurtful.
You got it.
Now, I have one in mind, but
No
the
more
debate
stalling.
is it a Christmas movie or not?
Give your answer.
Die Hard.
Die Hard is not on the list.
Yeah,
Is that 2 X's?
that was a waste. That was a waste.
2. That was a waste as well.
Okay. The most overrated. I'm going to go, gosh, this is hard because I don't know if people consider it to be a movie or a TV special. I'm going to go Frosty.
Frosty's incorrect.
Dang it. 1 and 6.
I think number 1 is going to be Christmas Story.
Christmas Story is number 1. You got
Oh, nicely done.
Makes me sad, but I a lot of people don't love it.
it. You want to try for the number 6?
Oh, yeah, the number 6.
Home Alone.
Home Alone's not it.
No.
It is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
You got it. Great.
But at that point, you know what you have to do? You have to flip over the card, and everyone in the audience
Yeah.
goes, Nightmare Before Christmas. That's how that
all
works.
right,
That
folks.
was a
Thanks for
fun
playing
game.
Christmas Clash.
That was super fun. Thanks, Chris.
This is good. We need more of this game.
100%.
I will say that we had some pretty unusual answers, and some people in the Christmas crew asked us if we could go through some of the weirder ones. Maybe we'll save that for a bonus episode.
Okay.
So some pretty hilarious answers that people threw
Or we
out
could
there.
play the full game later on in the season, maybe around episode 8 or something like
Yeah,
that.
that'd be fun.
Or we could play with a guest.
Ooh, we should
That'd be super
assemble
fun.
our families. We could do real
Ooh.
Christmas family clash. I love
Can
it.
you imagine all them fitting on this
That'd be
huge
amazing.
set? We got
That'd
plenty
be
of room. Yeah.
I love it. Awesome. All right, we should get to our countdown.
We should, but I just want to add one thing is that if you want the opportunity to participate in games like this and to be one of those voters who contributes to moments such as this, click the link in our episode notes to join our Patreon. It's a great way to get ad-free versions of every episode. You also get bonus episodes. We do an 11 through 15 of every countdown we do. You also get to be a part of a private community on Facebook, which is full of the most holly jolly, merry people you will ever meet in your life. We have some welcome swag that we send out to people. We offer discounts for our shop, all that sort of stuff. So all you got to do is either go to patreon.com and search Christmas Countdown, or just click the link in our episode notes and you can join our little merry crew.
Please do.
Yeah.
Let's do it, Chris. All righty, folks. So this is our top 10, but this is 5 through 1. Of top 10 Christmas movie soundtracks.
Yes.
There was a great segue, Chris. I don't know if you planned that, but of Christmas movies right into this. Very good.
Yeah.
As a reminder, my number 10 was Spirited. At number 9, I don't have these listed in order, so I have to do a little searchy search. Number 9, I had Love Actually. At number 8, I had Home Alone. At number 7, I had Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas. So good. And at number 6, I had Rudolph. So now we're to my number 5, which is, this one's so good.
Yeah.
This one might be on your list, so I won't say too much.
Okay.
But just so good. And a movie that I remember watching as a kid, but I have grown to love year by year more and more. Which is interesting.
Just you watching it or watching it with your children?
With my kids.
Okay.
But I don't think it's even necessarily. Some movies are about like, well, it's the experience of all of us watching it together. But like this one, like just for me, I just really have grown to really love it. And that's going to be Muppet Christmas Carol.
So darn good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Came out in 1992. Obviously, the amazing Michael Caine and the Muppets. Songs by Paul Williams, which we talked about, Emmett Otter's.
Right.
He worked with Jim Henson a bunch. There's so many great songs. There's the song Scrooge at the beginning,
yes,
which has one of my favorite lines ever. No cheeses for us mices.
Mises.
No cheeses for us mises.
And they're like peeking out of the little hole.
The hole in the brick wall. It's so good. It's so my God. So great. We got One More Sleep Till Christmas. It's Marley and Marley.
Classic.
Woo! So great. It Feels Like Christmas, which is a song from the Ghost of Christmas Present sings. And then you have When Love Is Found, which is such a beautiful song.
Is that the one that Belle sings?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so good.
So good. It just is. I just have really. I love Christmas Carol in general. I think as I get older and you sort of have that like looking back on your life and realizing like what you did right and wrong and changes you would have made or regrets you maybe had, it just speaks, I think, to you as you get older.
Yep.
But that version in particular is just so delightful and so lovely, and the music, all original songs, which is always a lot of these lists are filled with movies that have a lot of Christmas hits, which makes sense because those songs already have an established emotional feeling for us. But these songs are becoming classics. I mean, they came out in 1992. They've had time. They're classics now. But yeah, so my number 5 is going to be Muppet Christmas Carol.
And if you listen to just one, which would you choose?
I would say let's listen to Marley and Marley.
That's so good.
It's Marley and Marley. Woo! Yes. And they're the perfect casting. You know how we love to cast like just, cast Jaws with the Muppets or whatever. Those two guys are so perfect for Marley and Marley. I mean, it's just.
Weren't we talking about maybe doing that as a countdown this season of like if you had to like flip, like say Kevin McAllister had to be Buddy the Elf or something like that. I don't know if that's a game or a countdown
We
theme.
should absolutely do that, though.
But we should workshop it.
Yeah.
We'll shoot it here at Holiday Experience. It'll be great.
Absolutely.
All right. Great choice there. Number 5. Recapping my 10 through 6. At number 10, I had 4 Christmases. Number 9, Elf. Number 8, Rudolph, the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Number 7, Charlie Brown Christmas. And number 6, Spirited. Coming in at number 5, and I have to say, when we first had the idea for this countdown, I thought, this is going to be pretty easy because like not a lot of like Christmas movies had official soundtracks and like I knew what my favorites were. But like the last month or so, Eric, I have been listening to so many Christmas movie soundtracks and unearthing soundtracks that I'd never listened to before, like Four Christmases, which we chatted about last episode. Jingle All the Way has a great one, which, may make an appearance somewhere here. But there's like all these amazing soundtracks that either have original songs or these amazing sort of like compilations of songs we love so much. So if you haven't taken the time to go listen to Christmas movie soundtracks, I definitely encourage you all to do it. And putting this top 5 together has been heart-wrenching for me over the last week. I have flip-flopped them around probably at this point like 7-8 times.
Wow.
But this one has stayed pretty consistent at number 5, and that is going to be Home Alone 2.
Sure.
Came out in 1992, November of 92. Has an incredible song, which we chatted about.
Can you believe that Home Alone and Muppet Christmas Carol came out the same year?
Can you imagine what the box office must have been like? You know, and I will say, when was the last time we had like an iconic,
a bunch of good
Christmas movie dropping in the theater? Was it Elf?
Probably.
Was Elf the last one? And that was over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Which is, and like, do we think we'll have another one ever again?
We'll see how the movie business does.
I mean, The Rock has one dropping this year, which is going to be a theater release. Yeah. So who knows that?
That looks more intense.
It does look a little bit.
Looks like it'll be fun, but maybe not.
What's it called? Operation Red or something?
Yeah,
something like that. We'll chat about it as it comes out. But 1992, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York, which was obviously the follow-up to Home Alone 1. It's got All Alone on Christmas by Darlene Love, which we love so much. There's some that really stick out for me that are on the actual soundtrack, which is My Christmas Tree. That's the one they sing, the choir sings when they're having the school pageant, and Buzz is like with the candles. He's like, and Kevin's singing Christmas tree, my Christmas tree. But it's also got TLC, singing Sleigh Bells.
Yes,
it's not.
It's a good version.
It's a good version, but it's so representative of the times of the mid '90s. If you're a '90s kid like us, you remember TLC with Waterfalls were the biggest thing in the world.
Don't want no scrubs.
Don't want them. Can't get no love from me. Hang out the passenger side
with the best friend.
The sleigh ride. Hey, trying to jingle at me. Thank you. That's good. Cheers. And then obviously it's got Jingle Bell Rock, but the one song that there's two. Sorry, I want to call out "It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas" by Johnny Mathis. It's such a beautiful version of that song, and when I hear it, it immediately transports me to Kevin McAllister riding around in the limousine with his own pizza around Midtown Manhattan. So I love that song, but the one that I want to listen to is one that I have to admit, for my entire life, I think up until last year, I thought was called Cougar, but it's actually called Cool Jerk. And it's the one that Uncle Frank is. Cool Jerk. I thought he was singing Cougar, Cougar, but it's Cool Jerk because it's a dance move.
He's doing the jerk.
He's doing the jerk.
Yeah.
And I feel a little bit like a jerk
for called it Cougar.
Oh, my entire life. Up until my 30s. I was definitely calling it Cougar. So let's listen to a little bit of Cool Jerk, the Christmas mix by the Capitals.
Could it be? 'Cause I know I'm the heaviest cat you ever did see. When they see me walking down the street, none of the fellas want to speak. On their faces they wear silly smirk, 'cause they know I'm the king of the cool jerk.
Oh, you're cooking, Frankie.
That's so good.
I know. Get out of here, you know. Anyway.
That's so good.
So, yeah, it's not called Cougar, but I am curious if you are one of those people who thought it was Cougar as well. DM us and let us know.
And was that an original song for the movie, or it's a song that existed
it's a song
and he was
by the
singing
Capitals?
it?
Yeah, he was singing in the shower, Cougar. I still want to sing Cougar. Cougar.
I love that. I really, that's great. That's a great list.
Cheers.
Obviously important to you. Okay, my number 4, Polar Express. Did you say Polar Express on your last one?
I did not.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be on your list.
Well,
I guess we'll see. Leave me in suspense. I like that. Okay, came out in 2004. I love Polar Express. I've talked about it before. I think it is so evocative, and it just really has the feels. While the animation was at a time when animation was figuring itself out, and sometimes it freaks people out, if you look at what the feelings of that movie are, I feel like they're so strong. It has great songs like Hot, 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 Hot Chocolate. We always say that in our house every time we serve hot chocolate.
Yep.
When Christmas Comes to Town, so sweet and innocent. When Christmas comes to town. So good. Believe, obviously, by Josh Groban. One of my favorites, the song we'll listen to, which is Alan Silvestri's Seeing is Believing. To me, that song just sort of honestly feels like what Christmas Eve feels like, that song. I also love the Sinatra version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town because not only is it Sinatra, and I love that, but the way that it's played in the movie is through like a gramophone, like these huge gramophones. And so it just has that sort of like it's coming from another room and it's a little garbly and it's just so great. And then obviously the theme to Polar Express is just so beautiful. But let's listen to a little bit of Alan Silvestri's Seeing is Believing.
Love that song.
So good.
It's so good.
good. Love it.
So good. And no spoilies, but I may talk about it
there
at
we
some
go.
point
There
in
we
time.
go. There we go.
Real quick, I would be remiss if I didn't bring this up. There's one more song in Home Alone 2 I forgot to mention. It's Christmas Star. That's the song that plays when Kevin is walking around New York by himself, and he ends up outside of like the children's hospital.
Yeah.
Or the I think it's a hospital.
Yeah.
And the one little kid like waves at him from the window, and it's just such like a beautiful moment. And I think it comes back to the heart of like Kevin realizing how much he misses his family. So if you go and listen to the soundtrack, go and listen to Christmas Star as well. Anyway, moving along to number 4, and this is one that it is so hard for me to put it at 4, but it's also shocking to me that I didn't really know it as a Christmas soundtrack up until we started making this list. But I couldn't get it into the top 3. I just couldn't force it in. And it's going to be Miracle on 34th Street.
Oh, it's a good one.
It's so good. Is it really good?
It is.
Okay.
It's okay. It's
okay, but it's not really good.
It's not really good
okay,
on my
I just
list, but it is good.
So November of 94, I'm speaking about the 94 version specifically with Richard Attenborough. What I discovered through I love to do a lot of research into these things is that there's like the soundtrack, which is 10 songs. It has a lot of like songs that we know and a couple like original compositions. But then there's an additional 30 track album that's just the score of the movie. Beautiful score that was done by, let me pull up his name real quick so I don't, Bruce Broughton. 30 original tracks. I found like a 15-minute suite of it on YouTube because I couldn't find it. It's not on Spotify. But if you want to hear some of those like beautiful songs, like the overture that plays at the top, which is absolutely stunning. There's a version that's done by, I think it's the Royal Navy Band or something like that you can find on Spotify. But songs I want to call out specifically are Natalie Cole does a version of Jingle Bells.
So good.
That honestly, I don't know if I had ever heard that version of Jingle Bells until listening to this soundtrack. And she scat sings in it. It's the longest version of Jingle Bells that I think I've ever heard in my life. And honestly, had I heard it sooner, it probably would have been on my top 5 versions of Jingle Bells list. We did back in season 2 of the show. And so if you're looking for versions of Jingle Bells to listen to, go back to season 2. You also have Sinatra, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. Elvis, Santa is back in town. And then there's a Sarah McLachlan track on there, which is beautiful. That if you're like an Imogen Heap fan, like the feel of the song feels very much like that. Or there was a song that Joshua Radin did back in the early 2000s called Paperweight. It has a little bit of that feel to it as well. But the song that I really think we need to lean into on this soundtrack is Aretha Franklin's Joy to the World.
Yes.
If you want to go to church, if you want Aretha to escort you to church
to the heavens,
this track is so electric and so powerful. The energy in it is off the charts. Like I've listened to it probably like 10 times over the last week because it just lifts your spirits.
Yeah.
And so I want to help you all have your spirits lifted right now. Let's take a little listen to Aretha Franklin's version of Joy to the World.
Sing it.
It gives you everything you want.
Sing it.
And that soundtrack is so good. I really want to try to find like the full score version. That's going to be like one of my tasks for this holiday season is to find that.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, my number 3. I'm cheating a little bit here.
Okay.
But I don't know. It's not like, hey, I have 2 options that are totally different things. It's one property, but there's 2, similar to how I kind of snuck in a little Home Alone and Home Alone 2.
Yeah.
I'm saying Elf but I'm also including Elf the musical.
Fair.
Which are two separate things, but I'm putting them both in.
But they have
slot.
some repeat.
They
songs,
do have
right?
some. Yes, they have some overlap, but just bear with me. It's our list. I'm breaking the rules. So yes, I'm going to talk about Elf at number 3, 2003, obviously for the movie. For the musical, came out in 2011. The movie has amazing songs. Danny already talked about it. Ella Fitzgerald's Sleigh Ride, Lena Horne's Let It Snow, Leon Redbone. I don't know if we've talked about Leon Redbone on this show. I feel like maybe we did, but I'm not sure. If you don't know who Leon Redbone is, that's okay. I didn't either. Leon Redbone passed away probably like 5-6 years ago. Okay. And I remember when he died, there was like a thing on CNN, and I wasn't doing anything when it happened and the news alert came across or whatever, and I was like, I don't know who Leon Redbone is. Like, I just didn't know who he was. Very interesting guy. He was a singer-songwriter that nobody really knew how old he was. He kind of wore disguises a lot.
Oh, interesting.
He had a very fuzzy backstory of like who he was and where he came from.
Right.
But he's got that kind of voice that sort of sings like that. And he has this amazing catalog of covers and also originals that he's done. And I did a deep dive, and I've become a massive Leon Redbone fan. I have a bunch of his album, like vinyl records now. He's so great. But his version, obviously, of Baby It's Cold Outside is so good. You have Christmas Island, Winter Wonderland. And then in the musical, I just want to give a little bit of love to the musical with amazing music from my buddy Matt Sklar, who wrote the music for it. Thomas Meehan wrote the book. You have lyrics by Chad Beglin, who wrote the music, or wrote the lyrics with Matt Sklar. If you've never listened to Elf the musical, there's two ways you can do it. You can listen to the Broadway cast recording, but there also was a claymation NBC special that starred Jim Parsons that's also really great, and most of the songs from the musical, the Broadway musical, are in that special. Has songs like World's Greatest Dad. There's a song called Sparkle Jolly Twinkle Jingly, which is so amazing. There's a song called I Believe in You, which is a song between the mother and the son as they're talking about believing in Santa. Never Fall in Love with an Elf is a great song. Nobody Cares About Santa is a bunch of these, street corner. About Santa. It's so great. It's just really, really great music. So if you're looking for like, hey, I feel like I've listened to all the Christmas music, I don't know what to listen to next, go and do a deep dive into Elf the musical. It's really great. Let's listen to Sparkle Jolly Twinkle Jingly, which when I played Buddy the Elf was one of my favorite songs to do. But let's listen to a little clip of that.
Was that
so great.
hard for you? Like, were you ever nervous about that being like a tongue twister when you had to like perform it on stage?
It rolls off the tongue pretty nicely. It's written really well. It feels like a Sparkle Jolly Twinkle Jingly. I don't know why, but it doesn't. Once you've said it a couple times, it's pretty easy to
So it's
to
Sparkle
say. Jolly Twinkle Jingly. And I had to juggle wreaths while I was doing this. Yeah.
Had you juggled before that?
I did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I did a little bit of juggling.
It was in your special skills section of your resume.
But I was like tossing wreaths behind me and then catching them, and then I popped out of a big Christmas present. And I mean, that was a wild song. Really,
that's amazing.
Really
Is there
crazy
footage of you performing as Buddy anywhere?
The only thing that I think exists, and I actually just sent this to Santa J. Claus the other day because he was asking about it. I performed the song, I can't remember what it's called, but it's like one of the opening numbers in Elf.
Just sing that one?
No, it wasn't that. I can't remember what it's called.
Okay.
But I did it on the Wendy Williams show.
Oh, cool.
And you can find it on YouTube. Maybe we'll post a link to it.
Yeah.
I will say I was deathly ill when we did that day. And I very rarely call out. I absolutely would have called out. Like, I don't think I did the show that night at Madison Square Garden because I was so sick. But I was like, it's TV. I want to do I was like, I got to do it. But I literally I had one of those like personal steamers.
Oh, wow.
And I had it like literally on the Wendy Williams show. Like, it was like this. And they were like rolling and action. And they took it away from me like second that
was
they
it
were
live?
calling. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so I was just like, I really should not be singing. I'm like, I have no voice. So, I mean, I hate to be that actor. It's like, I was sick when I did it. But it's not my greatest vocal performance ever because I was like really sick. But yeah, if you want to check it out.
I will definitely check it out
on YouTube.
Dude, how many shows did you guys do a week when you were doing it? Was that
8?
It was 8.
Well, we actually maybe did more because it was a holiday show. We may have done 9 or 10.
You probably had like a 6-show weekend sort of situation,
I think so,
which is wild. And I think that's one thing that doesn't get talked about enough with Broadway performers is that you're doing 8 shows a week, which is so physically and emotionally and mentally draining to be like dialed in, and then you've got stage door and all that. But then, if you're in a show like yours, which is like this limited 6-8 week window, you're doing so much press
all the time
on top of it. And it's just like, it's got to be so exhausting.
I may have talked to you about this, Danny, off camera, but my schedule when I was doing Shrek on tour, and that's, you're only in a city for a week, so you really got to try to press heavy to get people in the seats. We'd get to a town on a Tuesday. We would do sound check that afternoon. We'd do the show Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, I would be up early to do whatever the morning show in Tulsa or whatever it was. We'd do the morning show in the morning, do press, and then do an interview in the afternoon, and then do the show on Wednesday night. Thursday morning, I'd do another radio show and then do the show Thursday night. Friday mornings, I usually had off, do the show Friday night, do 2 shows Saturday, 2 shows Sunday, drive to the next city on Monday. And that was for a year of my life. So it really can be, it's the best job in the world.
Yeah.
But it can be very taxing on your mind and your body and your voice But
also, you weren't like playing a character that you show up and put on like a sweater and pants.
It was like 2 hours of makp before the show and an hour after.
When you would do press, would you show up as Shrek?
Only in the big cities because it was so time heavy to get into all this stuff. Yeah. But also, it was very expensive. I mean, I think we've talked about this, but the face thing to put the full prosthetics on my face was $500 every time we put it on.
Oh my gosh!
And it was single use.
And that's just for like the tools they had to buy.
Just for the prosthetics, like the things that are made that have to go onto my face, and you can only use it once because with the edges all get burned off, so it looks seamless.
Right.
So it's $500 every single time you put that on.
That's
the face.
Wild. Yeah. Which makes me think of, to bring it back to Christmas, is when they were filming the live action Grinch. There was there's some outtake of where Jim Carrey like bites the nose off of the mayor.
Yeah.
And I remember it was like a big thing because of how many hours it took to get him back into makeup and the expense of it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny, but also like, hey, you just shut down production
maybe
for the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
It's so incredible, man. And shout out to all the theater actors out there who are going through that grind, man. 8 shows a week plus the press on top is wild. All right, number 3 for me is going to be Polar Express.
Yeah.
And honestly, this one almost creeped up into 2 and 1.
Wow.
I know. The more I listen to
That's a little surprising for me to hear from you.
I know. Honestly, the more I listen to it, the more I love it.
Yeah.
It just keeps growing on me. What I was taken back to was when I remember seeing Polar Express in the theater for the first time. And when they sang Hot Chocolate, I was like, ta, 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 ta. I remember like dancing around in my seat. And I think a big part of it now is that it's sort of having a resurgence in my life because, I'm not going to show my kids some of the Christmas movies just yet because of the subject matter. Like, I'm definitely not going to show them Christmas Vacation. No. 6-year-old kids. Yeah. But like Polar Express is one that I feel really safe showing them. And Emerson watched it for the first time last year. And what it reminded me of was how much I love trains. Yeah. I was one of those kids who loved trains so much. I loved seeing them. There's a place here in Southern California in Griffith Park called Travel Town.
It's the best.
Where they have
I did a birthday party there one
time. Did you really? Yeah. They have like full-size cabooses and dining cars and all these engines that you can like walk through and you get to touch them. They have a train that goes around the property. There's like, if I remember correctly, there's like an indoor part that has like a museum with some smaller like N-gauge and like HO gauge trains. My dad, when I was a kid, we built like a train set together. And when I say we, what I mean is I stood next to the table while my dad built the town. But like I would go with him to the train shop and we'd be like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we got that little like,
bridge or something.
Theater or whatever it was. And like he built like a paper mache mountain on it that the train would go through. We had a baseball stadium that we built. Cool. And it was all like on an unfinished door. Essentially, because it was engaged, so they were super small. But going back and watching that movie has reminded me how much I love trains. But like, to me, it just captures the essence of like the excitement of Christmas as a child, and the score. Without that score, the movie is a great story. But what Alan Silvestri, who scored that, it breathes life into it, and you feel like the world of the magic of this train, and when you're going through the mountain pass and you end up in the North Pole, like it makes it so real and so alive, and every piece matches the scene, and just that swell of the na na na, na like it's so beautifully done. And then obviously you cited, I love that version of Santa Claus is Coming to Town, where it's like the whole like packaging factory is empty, and it's like somebody left it on like down the hallway, and it's just sort of playing. I love that effect that they do. I also love Rockin' on Top of the World by Aerosmith. I don't know if it's fully Aerosmith. I know it's Steven Tyler, but like they're like the official elf band at the North Pole, and I'm a huge Aerosmith fan. And fun fact about Aerosmith is, did you know that they've only had one #1 hit ever?
Is it crazy?
It was the one from
I
don't want to close my eyes.
Armageddon.
Armageddon. That's their only #1 hit, which is wild because they're so iconic. And I don't want to shout them out because they just recently retired, unfortunately with Steven Tyler's voice situation that he's dealing with. So I know you called out some great ones. So why don't we listen to Rockin' on Top of the World?
That's a good one.
By Stephen Tate.
That's great.
Great soundtrack.
Have you ever done one of the actual trains?
No,
they have. There's a few of them that like you can go on a Polar Express train. And they give the hot chocolate and they do the dance. I did see. I've never done it either, but I did. I think it was maybe and Chris, maybe you've done this. I think it was at the Central Park Zoo. When I lived in New York, they had a 4D theater in the Central Park Zoo that would play Polar Express at Christmas.
Really?
So they play like a 20-minute version of the film. But like when it's the hot chocolate, they pump in the smell of hot chocolate. The seats moved a little bit when you were on the train. When they would go outside, they had snow going and stuff in the theater. It was really cool.
Big.
And it was like a little theater. It was like a probably 30-seat theater. It was like a little fun.
I want to do that, the actual train experience. I think they used to have it closer here, but now you have to drive out to like the Inland Empire or something.
Yeah.
But maybe we'll do a little show road trip.
I love it. I love it. All right, we're getting there, folks. My number 2 was mentioned by Danny earlier, and that's going to be Charlie Brown Christmas. Charlie Brown Christmas by the great Vince Guaraldi. Came out in 1965. It's just so great. And do you remember that TikTok that I played? We'll post a link to it because I can't remember who the user was. But where it was like they were doing sort of a pretend of like, hey, Vince, we just need a simple score for this little kid's special. Not a big deal. Just like some little happy Christmas music. And he's like, I've got you covered. And like wrote this just like the most perfect jazzy like background music. If you're hosting a Christmas party and you don't have time to make a full playlist of what you want and you want it to be a classy event, you just put on Vince Guaraldi's Charlie Brown Christmas, let it play in the background, and you will instantly class up the joint.
Oh yeah.
So it's so great. I don't know which song to. What did you did?
I did Skating.
You did Skating?
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to leave this as a dealer's choice. Chris, you can play any song off this record because it really is. There's not a miss in the whole thing.
That's a good point. Yeah.
We'll feel like I'm wearing a suit and a skinny tie, and I'm in 1965, and I've got a nice like martini, and I'm at a classy Christmas shindig.
When that music comes on, it's almost like you could feel like. You could see everyone walking differently.
Yes.
Like people they walk a little bit more.
It affects the air.
Smooth. Yeah. You just feel like you're in a classy joint.
Totally.
The second that track or any of those tracks come on. Great choice. Now, Eric, this is where this gets really hard for me.
The rubber meets the road.
Yeah. These two have been going back and forth for me for the last 2 weeks. Polar Express almost got up there. But like I just couldn't. I couldn't do it.
So you're saying your 1 and 2 are switching?
I don't know. That's
what you're feeling.
I've been leaving it up to this moment to see where my heart wants to take me in this moment. This is really hard. This is so hard. I'm going to go number 2, Home Alone.
We might have the same number 1 then.
I don't think we do. Actually, I know we don't.
Oh, well, there you go.
For a fact, yeah. This Home Alone, obviously, you have the beautiful score of John Williams. From the main title, Somewhere in My Memory, all the way through. Making the Plane is brilliant. Dun, 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 dun. It's just so brilliant. And then you've got all these additional tracks which were used in the movies. And what became very clear for me when we started doing this show a few years ago is that our first countdown ever was top 10 Christmas songs.
Yeah.
And I basically named like half of the Home Alone soundtrack.
You did. Yeah.
Because the songs are so tied to Christmas for me. Something about that movie connects with me. And I've done a lot of thinking about it over the years as to like, why do I connect with that movie so much? And I think as I've gotten older and sort of had to be honest with myself as a human being is like, my parents got divorced when I was pretty young, and I was bouncing back and forth between families. And then my mom and my stepdad, had a kid. And then my dad and my stepmom had a kid. And I think in some way, and Mom, I know you listen to this, so this is not a dig on you, Mom. We don't need to like have a deep talk about this. But like, I think some part of me felt alone.
Sure.
Where like I wasn't entirely this family. I wasn't entirely that family.
Right.
And my core unit that I was born into were no longer a family.
Right.
And I was the kid who had to get driven to the other house on Christmas Eve or Christmas morning or whatever it was. And I know that whether it was for them or not, I'm sure subconsciously I felt like I was a nuisance, that like they had to leave their family gathering to take me to another family gathering. And so I think maybe to an extent, maybe part of me was like, well, I was like Kevin and like, when I get older, I'm living alone,
right?
Like, and as I look back on like my teenage years and like, I was just thinking about this the other day, like the day I turned 16, I was the first appointment to get my driver's license in the morning. Cause I couldn't wait to just drive.
Yeah.
And drive away. And when I was old enough to like move out and I could afford to live on my own, I couldn't wait to like live in my own place, you know? And so I think I feel a connection to Kevin in that sense of like, he's the middle child. I wasn't the middle child age-wise, but I was stuck in the middle between two families. I'm just sort of having like an existential like, moment here on the show, but I think that's why I connect to Kevin and why his story sort of resonates with me. But at my heart, I just want to be around my family.
Yeah.
And, and so I relate to Kevin in that sense. And I think that's why I'm drawn to the movie. And there's so many amazing, songs that are not just the John Williams tracks, but like, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee, Run, Rudolph, Run by Chuck Berry. And then that Please Come Home for Christmas track that plays in the Paris airport when the family is leaving and Kate is left behind. Mm-hmm. And it's like, ding, ding, bells will be ringing, the sad, sad blues. It's just such a great song. It's called Please Come Home for Christmas by Southside Johnny Lyon. Now, Chris, I couldn't find a version of that song like on Spotify, so you may have to sort of dig deep to find it. But we've heard all the other ones a ton. So let's play Please Come Home for Christmas by South.
And you kind of feel, even you're just saying it, I like hear rain. Like I hear rain outside.
Yeah.
And that feeling of like, I'm just trying to like, I'll Be Home for Christmas, which feels very like, I'll be home. That feels so like, oh, sweet and
it's a little
saccharine.
Hopeful, right?
Yeah. But that song, your version or your,
I wrote it. It's true.
Your recommendation there, it really is. You're totally right. It just it brings you to that place of like, I'm not finding the words, which is not great for an audio medium here, but like, bells will. It starts with
bells will be ringing, the sad, sad news. Oh, what a Christmas!
Yeah.
Oh. You have the blues. My baby's gone. Like it's just. There's nothing hopeful about it. It's like the ownership of the reality of the moment.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's great to have hope.
Because it's not forever, but it's in that moment. That's the truth.
But that's your truth.
Yeah.
And to really speak truth. And I think now more than ever, we're constantly trying to, like, massage the way we talk about things. And, I'm as guilty of this as the next person. Is like to always focus on the positive.
Right.
But to really transition and to move forward to a happier state, sometimes you have to own the sadness.
Yes,
and to be sad, you have to have been happy at one point in time for that thing. So, like, I think that is honoring something is to be sad about it being done or closed or gone or whatever it may be.
And, I think that you're right, Danny. I think so often when people talk about Home Alone, they think of the, lighting Marv's hands on fire and stepping on the nail, like all the things that are like the hijinks of it, which is a great part of the movie. But really why it was so successful is because it is about that feeling of like just wanting to be with your family at Christmas, which is awesome.
And he's defending his home.
Yeah.
He says, this is my place or my house, and I have to defend it.
Yeah.
Like he's doing that for his family.
100%.
What a great story.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well done.
Anyway, we've made it.
Really good. Okay, my number one was like this. I didn't even have to think about it.
Really?
I didn't have to do a list of like, ooh, let's see, what are my options? I just, boom, I knew what I was going to say.
I don't know if I know where you're going.
White Christmas.
Is it? Okay.
White Christmas. I freaking love White Christmas. I love it so much. It makes me feel so happy. I love that my family loves it. It is all of the things that I love about Christmas. It's the bright colors. It's the hominess of that hotel. It's the story. It's the movie itself. It's the reverence for generations past, both in the fact that it's an older movie and also, like all the story with the general and like, let's, give it up for the general, all that stuff. I just love White Christmas so much. I almost said snow much, and that was a Freudian slip.
That should be merch. I love you so much.
I love you so much. I love Christmas so much.
Yeah.
I still, to this day, I think I talked about it last season. One of my core memory, favorite moments of my whole life was last year, and I happened to just go, snow. And my wife and both of my kids all came in 4-part harmony, completely unplanned, because we all love that movie so much. It made my heart so full and warm, and just like, I love my family so much. We quote, there's a movie, Big Hero 6, which is a Disney movie, and there's the aunt who's played by Maya Rudolph. There's a moment in the movie where she says, I love my family. And that's like our sort of family motto. We say it all the time. Whenever we're having like a nice little moment, one of us will be like, I love my family. And we all say it like that. So for White Christmas, came out in 1954. Obviously the songs of Irving Berlin, sung by the great Bing Crosby, Danny Kaye, Rosemary Clooney, and Vera Ellen. Highlights include Snow, as I just talked about. Sisters. I mean, is there anything funny? Do you know, I don't know if we've talked about, maybe we have, but did you know that was not written into the script, Sisters?
Oh, really?
It was, the girls singing it was a part of the story, right? And they filmed it, and that was it. And while they were in between takes, Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby jokingly were like going, sisters, sister.
Really?
And they were like, that's so funny. And they were like, let's put it in the movie.
Oh my gosh,
and so
I didn't know that.
They added it to the film just because they were goofing off on set. And now it's become obviously just iconic.
But how amazing that they could just whip out a song like that.
Yeah. They're
Incredible.
pros, you know. But I mean, there's something about that song with like the blue fans and Bing Crosby's blue eyes that just like are so perfect, just so perfect. You have White Christmas, obviously. Originally seen in Holiday Inn, which did not make my list, but I shout out to Holiday Inn. I love Holiday Inn. The Old Man, so great. The Best Things Happen When You're Dancing, that beautiful song. Happen when you're dancing. Oh my God. And they dance out on the dock, and it's just amazing. And then you also have to give it up for the very weird choreography. The song choreography. Do you know what I'm talking about? Oh, there's a song called Choreography that Danny Kaye does. It's like when they're trying to fill up the set because they're going to do a show.
Right.
And he does this very weird song called Choreography that's very 60s and mod, and it's just weird. It's not a great song, but it's like a part of the movie as a whole. So for me, let's listen to White Christmas.
I feel like you have to.
Yeah,
right?
you got to.
Yeah.
So here's a little bit of Bing Crosby singing. Just
classic.
The absolute best.
What a great list.
Thank you.
Was this hard for you to put this one together? Other than your number one, which you said you knew, but like, did you debate and like shuffle stuff around at all?
Not really. I felt there was like maybe at my like 8, 9, 10, and things that will be on the Patreon bonus episode,
Yeah.
had some fluctuation, but most of it was pretty easy.
Your top 5 are dialed.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's a great list. I loved it. As Eric mentioned, we do bonus episodes. So if you want to hear our 11 through 15, to do that, all you have to do is join our Patreon. Or if you listen on Apple, you can become a paid subscriber on Apple as well. And we do make those bonus episodes available. But the price is the same as Patreon.
Yeah.
So you might as well join the Patreon. That way you can be a part of our private community on Facebook and get access to ad-free episodes and all that sort of fun stuff. Because ain't nobody got time for ads. You know what I mean?
Ain't nobody got time for that.
But if you are new here, please make sure you do hit that subscribe button. That way you get all the alerts for new episodes when they drop on Mondays. We'll be back with another top 10 next week, which I don't know if we've dialed it in yet, but we'll reveal it to you guys very, very soon. We'll probably share it with our Patreon people first. And if you're not following us, please make sure you do so. We are at Christmas Countdown Show on all the socials. That being said, my number one, do you think you know what it is?
I don't.
It's Muppet Christmas Carol.
Of course.
It is.
Yeah.
And I thought it was going to come in around 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And then as I listened to it more, as I thought about like what I think makes a great movie soundtrack, I kept going back to this notion of songs that were composed for that film.
Sure, yeah.
We talked about this in part 1, where it's like there are so many films that use those iconic songs like Brenda Lee and, Chuck Berry and Bobby Helms. All these songs we know, White Christmas, get used over and over and over again. Anyone could put together a compilation.
Sure.
But to compose a brand new score.
That feels classic.
That feels classic. That feels like, I think about like the version of Good King Wenceslas that they do. And it's by the Muppet Brass Buskers.
Yeah.
When I listen to that song, it makes me think like I've stumbled upon some small church in London and there's like a brass group that's just playing this version of Good King Wenceslas on Christmas Eve, because that's what they do every single year. There's beautiful songs like One More Sleep Till Christmas by Kermit. The more I listen to that song, the more I watch this movie, the more I feel like Kermit. Yeah, I feel like Bob Cratchit and Kermit's version of just like this eternal optimist of like, hey, I know I work for a boss that kind of sucks a little bit, but like I believe he's got good in his heart somewhere and refuses. Even though, so many people in his life are like talking negatively about Scrooge, he refuses because he's got this sense of gratitude for the fact that he has a job. And it's cold, but at least we have a little bit of coal to put in the fire. Like, I think it goes back to like you can sort of choose in life, like focus on the positive, focus on the negative. And Kermit is just that optimist, which I love. Another song I love, because you called out so many great ones, but the Christmas scat that
Which
Tiny...
one's that?
It's such bobby deep bop boop bop boop.
They're
walking,
like coming over a hill, right?
Yeah, they're walking home.
Yeah.
And it's just Kermit and Tiny Tim.
Yeah.
And like I love scat singing, as I mentioned earlier with Natalie Cole's Jingle Bells, and it's just such a beautiful moment between father and son. Yeah. And the way that Kermit is so present in Tiny Tim's life and is there for him and is lifting him up as he's navigating, his illness that Tiny Tim is sort of battling, that he's like shining light in his kid's life. It's just such a beautiful thing. I think Thankful Heart is a beautiful one that Scrooge sings at the end. But I think if I had to play one, I got to go with One More Sleep Till Christmas. Yeah. It just captures the essence of the excitement of Christmas Eve, and you're looking forward to that next day and being with your family and your loved ones. And it just, like, what does he say in there? He goes, he talks about like keep love alive. It's just like there's so many positive sentiments that Kermit has in that song. So let's take a little listen to One More Sleep Till Christmas by Kermit the Frog.
By Kermit T-Frog. I might go home and watch Muppet Christmas Carol right now.
You will?
I really think so. I'm jazzed up about it.
I've got like 3 or 4 days till the World Series starts, so I've got time to fill.
Yes.
So I think maybe I'll watch it with my kids this week too.
Absolutely.
That'd be super fun.
This was a good list.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. Big thanks to Emilio and Chris. Thank you guys as always.
Chris.
Very fun game today. Emilio, good job being over there and
laughing at our jokes.
Laughing at our jokes. And Emilio's,
TV.
He's working on all the camera angles and doing all the stuff. It's amazing. Thank you to Danny. Thank you to me.
Thank you to
all of our listeners out there.
And Holiday Experience.
For hosting us. Thank you so much. Remember, you can check them out at holiday_experience24. They open on November 1st. We'll be showing you more stuff of their space. It's very cool. But we're going to close this episode up the way we always do, by saying a very heartfelt and full-throated Merry Christmas.
And Happy Holidays.
We'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you guys.